Arkansas State went 11-18 overall last season with a 6-14 record in Sun Belt play for a 10th place finish in the conference standings. The Red Wolves enter this season predicted to finish 4th in the preseason poll and also placed Anthony Livingston, a junior forward, on the preseason first-team all-conference. Coach Brady, before we get to questions, could you please give us your thoughts on last season and a brief preview of this season?
Well, last season doesn't really have much correlation to this year, although we do have a number of players back, and probably one of the top 3 players in the league back in Anthony Livingston. Although Anthony hasn't practiced to this point, he's got a little twisted his knee a little bit the last day before we were going to real practice, and he hasn't worked out yet, so we're getting that under control. But it's nothing that requires any surgery. But he'll make us a better team. I think our team learned a lot from last year. I think we've got a number of players back that have played a lot of minutes. I never was bothered by our talent level as much as I was with the way our leadership was a year ago. But we've added a couple of players that have helped in that regard. Our team is much more competitive. Certainly, we didn't like what happened last year, and our players didn't. So I think we're good enough to do something about that, and we'll just have to see what happens. But Nam Bakun has lost 30 pounds. He's better. Frederick Dewar, who had some really good games for us the last 7 or 8 games, once he got eligible and once he got over injury, he's returning in a wing. Is going to be a good player for us. Livingston obviously will be one of the better players in the league. P.J. Hardwick, who didn't start for us at the end of the year, actually led the Sun Belt in assists, the turnover ratio a year ago, and led the league in assists. Sean Gardner's a double-figure scorer that's back, and then we have 2 guys that are going to join our team, 3 guys actually. Christian Davis, a freshman from Dallas, 6'7", has been really good in our workouts, and then 2 guys, Devin Carter and Dante Thomas. Thomas from San Jacinto Junior College, and then Devin Carter sat out last year and has 2 years as a transfer from Kent State. Are 2 really good players for us. So I think all of that's going to improve the state of our team, but the biggest improvement of our team has been their approach to one another, their approach to the practice, their competitiveness. So it's going to be interesting to see how our team comes along. I think we're better. I think the league's better. I will say this, I think the teams that the league has added from a basketball standpoint has enhanced our league. I think Georgia Southern, Georgia State, and obviously the addition of Coastal, those are proven to be 3 legitimate teams that are accustomed to winning. That strengthened our team. And then, the Lafayette going to the quarterfinals in one of those tournaments, and then certainly Keith and what he's done at Monroe, going to the finals of the tournament last year that they played in. And then obviously Georgia State winning the game in the NCAA tournament. I don't think that's played up enough. Conference USA couldn't do that, and everybody seems to think they're better than us, but they couldn't do what the Sun Belt did a year ago with basketball. And I don't hear that from our league. So hopefully we've heard it from our coaches. But I think our league in basketball has made some progress. I think it's really good. I think it's better this year. I think the coaching is good, and I think the additions that the league has brought in from a basketball standpoint has made us better.
Thank you very much, Coach Brady. As a reminder to our members of the media, please press *1 to get in the queue to ask questions for Coach Brady. Our first question will come from Dan McDonald with McD Media. Dan, please go ahead.
Morning, Coach. With all these guys returning and so forth, is it safe to say that you may have a chance of being, I know last year one of the things you talked about was you just weren't consistent all year long?
Well, our chemistry wasn't very good. We weren't consistent on top of that, and I think our team has grown up. We're removing some of the self of where I fit in and what's in it for me. And I think with 12 new players last year, that kind of affected our play overall. But I think we've grown from that, and it showed up in the practice. And there's 3 things that this team needs to do in order for it to be a good basketball team. We need to we need to rebound it better than we did a year ago. We need to defend it better than we did a year ago. And then we need to execute and be committed to executing offense. Too many times last year we shot it a little too quickly. And hopefully we can be a little bit more patient this year when we need to be and execute it. I think with a condensed shot clock and, some of the ideas of the way some people may play to make you take time off and get up in the offense, you're going to really be playing an NBA offensive series with 24 seconds on the shot clock for the most part. So whatever you do, you better do it decisively and you better do it specifically. And you better be in an aggressive mode offensively to attack. So I think our team is concentrating on that now from an offensive standpoint, and hopefully it will show up in our play.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much, Dan. Our next questions come from Jonesboro, Arkansas. Caller, please identify yourself and go ahead.
Hey, Coach Brady. This is Kevin from the Sun.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Part of what I was going to ask is an answer, but also I think on Media Day you talked about trying to find somebody to play alongside Anthony on the inside and find some consistency there. How's that progress for you? Obviously he hasn't practiced, but how does it progress trying to find somebody there to go along with?
Well, we've had different guys, different times play well. Big Nom has played well off at times in the practice. Christian Davis, our freshman, has showed up well. Charles Waters has improved as a 6'5", 6'6", undersized post guy. In our league, he can get away with that. Kelvin Downs has been better at times, but, one of those four guys are going to have to step up and be consistent. And we may have to do it by committee, and we may do it depending on the other team's player and the matchup. So, that's a concentration of our team to get somebody to play on Anthony Livingston's side and be consistent with really just defending, rebounding the weak side, making open shots and not looking to be an offensive player much at all. I think Devin Carter and Sean Gardner and Fred and Duray and certainly Anthony Livingston, those three or four guys can carry us offensively. We just need somebody consistently, particularly on the defensive end, and help Anthony rebound the ball to make our team function efficient as it needs to in order to win some games.
Right. As far as Anthony's situation with his knee, when do you expect him to be able to get back into practice?
Well, I hoped it was yesterday or last week, but whenever he and the doctors confer with it, certainly not going to force him out there, but he'll be out there eventually. He missed last year. He missed the first 2.5 weeks of practice because the first day of practice a year ago, he took an elbow to the nose and fractured his jaw. So he didn't practice the first 2.5 weeks of the season last year, and looks like the same repeat this season. So we'll see. He's been going through some dummy stuff and watching a lot of tape to know what we're doing, and a lot of the stuff, some of it is different that he's had to pick up on. Some of it's the same. So, but he had a great spring and summer and a great preseason, and just one of those things you can't control, and you've got to deal with the best you can. But I'm optimistic he'll be out there soon and be ready to go. Maybe not in the shape that he needs to be in, but certainly by the time we'll get to December, I think he'll be back to where he was, or even better than he was a year ago, hopefully.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Our next questions come from Little Rock, Arkansas. Caller, please identify yourself and go ahead.
Hey, John, it's Troy down here at the Democrat Gazette. How you doing?
Good, sir.
Hey, Kevin kind of asked, I was going to ask a little bit of more clarification on Anthony. Do you remember how he did it? I know it was like in a conditioning drill, so you might not have been there, and just kind of what, if it doesn't require surgery, what are you guys kind of doing to it, just rest and treatment and that sort of stuff?
What are you talking about? I'm not there. I'm there at every workout, man.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was
Come on, baby. No, he did a squat or something, and it wasn't something that was crazy. And the next day, it kind of had a little swelling in it. But he's always had a little. He had something done to it when he was at Marshall, and he's always had a meniscus issue in there, and it just puffed up on him. And we had an MRI and looked at it, and there's nothing really the surgery can do right now for him. We've just gotten it stronger and working it and resting it, and he had an injection in there or whatever they put in there, steroid injection or some kind of fluid, something to make the joint move more freely or whatever they do. So we've done all of that. Now it's just a matter of time we're sending to therapy where you can get some full range of motion and that sort of thing in it. So I think it's progressing. And he said we had a 6:15 a.m. practice this morning, and he said it felt better. So we have a scrimmage, Sunday. We have one of those scrimmages that everybody has, so we're going to do that Sunday. So maybe he'll get out here tomorrow, Friday, and be able to play a little bit of scrimmage on Sunday.
Okay. So you don't expect him to miss any games, or is that still a possibility?
My God, I hope not. He doesn't need to.
Yeah, okay.
If he does, I'll have a stroke.
All right, thanks, John.
Okay.
Thank you very much, Troy. We have time for one more question from a caller in Lafayette, Louisiana. Caller, please go ahead.
Hey, Coach. This is Luke Johnson down in Lafayette for the Acadiana Advocate. Just I'm asking around all coaches today. Were you surprised Sean Long returned for his senior season, and in your opinion, what makes him stand out in the basketball court?
Well, I'm not surprised at anything. I mean, whether he left or whether he came back, I'm sure through Bob and his parents, and they sat down and had a good informed decision-making process to go by. That when I've had players like that in the past, that's how we've always done it. We sit down, gather all information, sit down with families, discuss it, and ultimately hope the decision is best for the young man, and that's all you can do. So I'm sure the decision they made was well thought out and well researched, and he decided to come back and improve himself or more guarantee himself a spot that he wants. So I'm sure that was handled in the proper way. I have no question about that. But he's just a good player. He can score from behind the arc. He can score it off the post. He's long. He can block shots. I mean, he can anchor. They can pressure defensively, and he can protect the basket. I mean, shot blockers are really underrated in my opinion. My best teams at LSU was Stromile Swift and Tyrus Thomas and Brandon Bass. We had some shot blockers back there that could protect the basket. And anytime you have that length around the basket and somebody drives it, and you can cause problems. You can really get out and cover defensively. So my teams here the last couple of years, we haven't had anybody really protect the goal. Brandon Peterson was pretty good at it, but the year after he left a year ago and then last year, we don't have anybody like that. So hopefully we'll be better defensively, but I think his presence offensively around the goal and behind the arc, and in his presence defensively, make him special. He's got size and he's got length, and it'll be the third year in a row we'll have a guy going the first round from the Sun Belt. Conference USA can't say that, and there's a lot of other leagues can't say that. So I think our league, from a basketball standpoint, is a lot better than it's been, and it's continuing to get better, particularly with the addition of Coastal Carolina and Cliff Ellis.
Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Luke, and thank you, Coach Brady. That's all the questions we have for you today. We appreciate your time.